Welcome back, everyone, to the PA the FI Way podcast. I'm your host, Kat, and I'm so excited to dive into the topic for today's episode because I'm going to teach you how to audit your energy. You should treat your energy just like a currency. You can have limited energy some days, and other days you have more energy to spend. And it's really important that you're not only auditing your finances, but you are also auditing and tracking your energy and treating your energy and your bandwidth as something that's precious and a somewhat limited resource. Because let's be honest, when we are busy working professionals, working in healthcare, our energy can be limited many days, many weeks. So it's really essential that you learn how to audit your energy and learn to take away things that drain your energy and add things to your life that give you energy. So I'm going to teach you all about the emotional energy zones. There's 4 different types of zones and the overall matrix. I will pull it up here. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you will see it. But also I will share about how you can download the free workbook that I also made to go along with this episode, and it has all this information in there. So if you don't catch the video, you can go ahead and download this, and I encourage you to do so to work on the workbook and help you figure out how to audit energy for your life overall. I will also share with you some ideas of things that drain your energy and some ideas that give you energy. Many of these energy givers and energy takers can be the same for many of us. At the same time, there are certain ones that are more individualized for you as a person, certainly. So it's really important that you figure out what truly is an energy taker from your life and what truly is an energy giver for your life as well. So we have all been there. We have all left a meeting or we have all left hanging out with a certain individual. And after that, we can have this moment of, man, I just feel drained. That was not energizing. That left me incredibly exhausted. Or maybe on the reverse, you feel absolutely inspired and energized because you guys had such a great meeting or such a great conversation. Those are exact examples about how it's really important that you have more of the things in your life that give you energy and try to take away meetings or obligations that drain your energy overall. Part of this episode was inspired by a newsletter from Choose FI where they talked about Tim Ferriss going through an energy audit over the past 12 months. And I'm going to share with you how he suggested that you do this. And again, I will explain the 4 different emotional energy zones and how you can identify emotional energy givers and takers in your life too. If you're not familiar with Tim Ferriss, he has a book called The 4-Hour Workweek, and it's a really great book if you haven't read it yet. But he is famous for his books, podcasts, all the different types of things about how you can become work optional and overall work fewer hours, but still have an impact in your work week. So what Tim Ferriss recommends is that you grab a notepad and create 2 different columns, one for positive energy and one for negative energy. And then you go through your calendar over the last 12 months. So a full year, look at all 52 weeks over the past 12 months and jot down on the pad, either in the positive column or the negative column, the people or activities or commitments or obligations that triggered peak positive energy or peak negative emotional energy for that month and put them in the respective columns. So once you've audited the past 12 months, then look at your notepad list and ask what 20% of each column produce the most reliable or powerful peaks. So which ones produce the most positive form of energy, which ones produce the most negative form of energy for you over the past 12 months. Then, based on those answers, take those top 20% positive leaders, schedule more of them over your next 12 months. Be intentional. And again, if it's family members, if it's friends, if it's people who are colleagues, if it's mentors that are giving you more positive energy when you're meeting with them, then add more meetings with them over the next 12 months. For your 20% negative ones, it's important that you figure out what those are and put them on a not to do list, meaning that you do your absolute best and figure out how you don't do them or meet with them or have those meetings on your schedule over the next 12 months, because those are either the people or the obligations or meetings that you know make you miserable and that you know that you'll dread, but you have them on your calendar either out of obligation, guilt, or other type of things that really shouldn't be in your life. Maybe you feel pressure, peer pressure, or something like that. But it's really important that you not just take out those negative energy drainers from your life, but that you need to replace them and add more of the positive ones throughout your life as well. Now that we've talked about how you can identify some negative and positive energy in your life over the past 12 months, I want to transition to talking about the emotional energy zones. There are 4 different zones. And what I have pulled up here is a matrix, meaning that there are 4 different quadrants, and each different quadrant represents a different emotional energy zone. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can follow along in this video, or please go ahead and download the free resource that I have for you, the Energy Audit Workbook. You can find the link in the show notes, or it is pathefia.com/energy, and that will give you that workbook so you can get your free copy. With the 4 quadrants, you have the different y-axis and the different x-axis. So the axis going up and down, or your y-axis, going up is high energy, and then going down is low energy. Then the x-axis, or the horizontal axis, to the right is positive energy and to the left is negative energy. So let's start with the negative energy, but also low energy. So low and negative energy. That zone, that emotional energy zone, is the burnout zone. When you are in the burnout zone, you feel different types of low energy feelings, but they're not low energy in the good sense. They are negative or in the bad sense of low energy. So when you are in the burnout zone, you are exhausted, you are drained, you can be depressed, you can be discouraged, you can feel empty, hopeless, sad, or even depleted. So that is when you are in the low energy, but that it's negative low energy. Now let's talk about negative energy still, but high negative energy. So the high negative energy is the survival zone. This zone, you can often feel stressed, anxious, frustrated, irritable, angry, worried, impatient, or defensive. So that's when you are in the survival zone. It is where you feel like you're frantically running around, feel like you have so much on your to-do plate, you are so overwhelmed, but you are not quite having that overall lower energy of feeling down or burnt out or just absolutely exhausted. It's this not good energy, it's this negative energy, but it's this high energy where you're feeling more frazzled. Let's now go to the right side of this matrix. So let's start with low energy, but the positive side of low energy. That is called the recovery zone. When you are having low energy, but it's the positive form of low energy, you can feel relaxed, peaceful, relieved, rested, grateful, calm, renewed, and receptive. It is where you are chilling out. You don't feel stressed or panic. And even though your energy is low, it's not the negative low that you feel in burnout. You are feeling more at peace, more calm and relaxed overall, and kind of like how you feel on a really great vacation or maybe during a really nice massage that you're actually able to relax and chill out. Now let's talk about the upper right-hand quadrant where you have positive energy, but it's high positive energy. That's called the performance zone. In the performance zone, you are thriving. You're feeling challenged, connected, excited, enthusiastic, optimistic, engaged, and passionate. So perhaps in the performance zone, this would be an example of where you are just killing your workday. You feel so excited to be a PA or a professional in your specialty. Maybe you're scrubbed in on a really interesting surgical case and you and the surgeon were jiving really well. You're helping this patient and you feel on top of the world. Or maybe it is when you are also working on a business side hustle or a side gig and you are in this brainstorming phase and you are just so excited about the possibilities and so happy about that. Your energy is both high as well as feeling positive versus high and feeling negative when you're stressed out and anxious and irritated and things like that. So I made this emotional energy zone matrix for you. I, again, have it in the free handout that you can find in the show notes as well. Next, I want you to think about those different positive and negative examples of energy over the past 12 months, those different people or meetings or tasks or obligations that you had. And take it one step further and not only think about were they positive or were they negative for your life, but were they a high energy positive or a low energy positive? Were they a high energy negative or a low energy negative? And really try to decide which of those quadrants those different activities fell into. And that can help you decide, hey, am I overall functioning in one of these 4 emotional energy zones? Or maybe like most, week to week or month to month, you have a few different things in a few different of these quadrants overall. Again, the goal is to shift from the left side of the quadrants where you're having survival zone or burnout zone over to performance zone or recovery zone. It is important to identify you're not always going to be high energy throughout your whole life, right? You do need the rest and the recovery and the peace and the calm in your life as well. You need some of the low energy, but with the low energy, it's important that it's positive and not, again, always stuck in burnout zone or survival zone, or always in one of those 2 zones instead of the performance zone or the recovery zone. So that's what I encourage you to identify. Where are you falling mostly with your tasks that you have on your plate? Again, each of us only have such limited energy, such limited mental bandwidth. It's really important that you're protective of those things and not saying yes to every single thing that comes across your plate. In past podcast episodes, I've talked about the importance of setting boundaries. I've talked about the importance of saying no and how you can say no gracefully. If you need help with that, there are different scripts in those episodes as well. So again, it's really important that you not feel like you're a people pleaser and trying to please everyone in your life, feel the pressure to do all these things that everyone else wants you to do with your limited time, your limited energy. It's important that you figure out what gives you good energy in your life so you can protect it not only for yourself, but your family members, your spouse, your kids, your parents, your siblings, your best friends, or your favorite colleagues as well. Again, protect that energy for yourself. Don't feel like others are pulling the energy from you. Set those boundaries, implement them. It's way easier said than done. I absolutely have this conversation with my psychiatric patients that I see quite often about boundaries. I say, we are not taught anything about boundaries. Growing up, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, PA school, especially as a brand new grad PA, right? We feel all these pressures to not listen to our own body, feel like we're working all these hours, being the first one there, being the last one to leave the clinic. And that's not a way to live, right? And what I also say is that with boundaries, it takes time to figure out what your boundaries are for your life and practice with implementing them. It's important that you have grace with your boundaries too, because you have very likely gone decades without boundaries. And now you are trying to practice and implement boundaries in your life, and it takes time. So that's okay. Just keep practicing, keep saying no. It's like flexing and building a muscle, truly, where it takes practice overall. And the first no will be really hard, but eventually you will follow those up with no's that feel more confident and that are way easier to say over time too. And beside the 2 columns that you've worked on, thinking about the different things on your schedule over the past 12 months that were either negative energy or positive energy, I want you to take it a step further as well and think about energy takers in your life and energy givers. And instead of thinking about certain people or even certain meetings or certain committees or things like that, I want you to just generally think about different concepts, different practices, different habits that could be either energy takers or energy givers in your life. And right now I have a slide pulled up where on the left it's energy takers and it's showing that a battery is really drained because again, all of your energy is getting sucked from you. And then on the right-hand column are energy givers and the battery is fully charged, ready to go because these things really help recharge you overall. So let's talk about some energy takers. I'm not going to list out all of these, but I will list out some of them. Again, they'll be in that free workbook that you can certainly download and see them. And I also want you to think, hey, are these truly energy takers for my own life? Or am I pretty good about not having that energy taker in my life? But hey, maybe I have these other energy takers, and think about what those things would be on your list. So for example, some energy takers could be imposter syndrome, people pleasing, comparison to others overall, not getting enough water and being really dehydrated, doom scrolling, overthinking, not getting enough sleep, too much alcohol or substances, too much social media, where you're eating too much food that doesn't nourish you, that's overall more the junk food type of food, where you are working in a toxic workplace or you're feeling stuck in your situation, perfectionism, living in the past, not controlling your time, having others control your time overall, being underpaid, having your inner critic and listening to your inner critic, or having unclear purpose in your life. On the other hand, some examples of energy givers could be gratitude, exercise, movement, eating nourishing foods that are whole foods, quality time with those people that really light you up and give you that energy in your life, sunlight, decluttering, fresh air, self-care, quality sleep, hobbies that you enjoy doing, living intentionally, having some play or fun in your life, journaling, adventuring, soul care, acts of kindness, or even silence or stillness. Silence or stillness is something that we as Americans do not incorporate enough in our life. We are constantly go, 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 and our brains are often go, go, go as well. It is really important to have some of that silence and stillness overall with time too. So again, there are many more on both of those lists that I have for you. I have them pulled up here on the video, but again, feel free to download that workbook, pathefiveway.com/energy, get your copy, and it will also walk you through about how to figure out which of these are in your life, but also which ones you could add to list or which ones you might want to remove from the list, and really take the time to self-reflect. Even though this is not full on journaling from scratch, this is almost a type of journaling and reflection for you because it's making you take the time to look inward and reflect on the things that are draining your energy or those things or experiences or people that are actually giving you energy overall. In wrapping all of this up, this is your reminder that your health and your wealth are truly intertwined and connected. When you're protecting your energy, it protects your mind, it protects your body, and it protects your bank account. Because when you are drained or you feel like you are overall stressed, don't have any time, you're absolutely more likely to overspend on things that are more convenient for you or overspend on things that make you feel happy to try to get that dopamine hit. Or you're scrolling more on social and you get sucked in to the influencers or all those things that you can buy, or maybe you are impulsively buying things on Amazon. You, again, could be choosing conveniences, maybe more convenient meals and paying extra to have those meals delivered to you because you feel like you're either emotionally exhausted, mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, or so stressed that you don't feel like you have any time to make a meal at home either. You could be skipping your workouts or skipping your sleep, not getting enough sleep, or you could be sticking around in a job where you're overworked and underpaid, or maybe saying yes to way too many shifts. So again, when you're not protecting your energy, it really does affect your overall wealth too, because your mental bandwidth, your energy, how your mental health is doing, all those things are intertwined overall. And remember, even if you do build your wealth, if you don't have the health or the energy to enjoy your wealth, then what is the point, right? Money truly is a tool, but energy is your fuel. So I ask you, which emotional energy zone are you mostly feeling like you're running in? Are you in the survival zone, the burnout zone, performance zone, recovery zone? Are you mostly spending your time to the left in the survival zone and burnout zone? Or are you able to get to the right side, the performance zone and the recovery zone, and feel like you're having more positive energy than negative energy in your life? Do you have more energy givers in your life or more energy takers? Which of the energy takers can you take out of your life or drastically cut back from your life? Which of those energy givers can you add more into your life so you can enjoy your life more and have more energy overall? If this resonated with you, go ahead and share this with your friends, your colleagues, your family, your spouse, anyone that you feel like would benefit from this information. And I so appreciate you taking the time to watch this or listen to this, and I'll see you back here soon.